Hello, hello, all. Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. Hey, will you do us a favor? If this podcast has meant something to you and encouraged you, will you consider becoming a monthly supporter? You could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the podcast so that we can continue to put out content and help better serve you. So if you would, down in the show notes, you can click the link, support, and become a monthly member. We love you. New episode coming your way.
You're the big country, not her. You're the big country.
I'm the big country.
You're the big country.
Which country would
Well,
I
would
be?
it be? Would it have to be the big country? Would it be a big country? Like you are big country. There you go.
Sure. I don't get that.
I thought your alter ego just on the weekends. So
What I do
you run around
on
like
the weekends is none of your business.
I'm a semi-pro wrestler on the weekends.
And there's video to prove it.
There is. I was looking for that today. I was looking for the sumo suit
Yeah, we got it.
where she like waddled in
We
there.
have it
Yeah.
at the house.
Wait, the sumo suit or the picture?
Sumo suit.
Do you really? Oh, I'm gonna have to use that again.
Got the vidya. Oh, you mean the actual suit? No, I've got the video of it.
Oh,
No, the suit was
The suit could be
left.
fun.
it was left. Yeah.
left behind.
Dang it.
Sorry.
I'm such a loser.
I've been telling you that for years.
Are we recording?
Yes. Go ahead with the intro.
I don't know the intro.
Yes, you do. You did it
What's
last
up?
week.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Thank you for joining us again on the Almost Brothers podcast. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about losing your. I don't know why the song. That's me in the corner. Losing your purpose and refining it. Coming up. Oh, gosh. Easy. You're going to have a headache in the morning.
I thought he just had a stroke.
Head banging over here, man. Getting with it.
I love our music.
If only you had the long hair to go with it, man.
I have the no hair.
Oh, that's so funny.
Where's the wig? Did he have a wig?
It
No,
got,
wait,
it,
did
it
you?
got left behind also.
Got left behind with the sumo suit.
We just had so many costumes. Why?
Yeah.
Because your husband's a psycho.
I know.
We're gonna have to get like a trunk and just start
We are.
collecting
Yep.
things.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We had an alien,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
sumo
Tristan.
suits.
Yep. Yep.
the wig.
The wrestlers, claws, all kinds of stuff. Gets crazy.
I did. I gave the overalls to a guy from the other church. So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
gifted
They
those.
went. Good God.
Bought them for a costume, gave it to somebody for an everyday wardrobe.
That's it. That's it.
But yes, on today's episode, we got the new youth pastor at Remnant, Brittany Ivy, in the
Oh,
building.
hello.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful. I'm really good. Excited.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And also, we have my lovely, amazing, beautiful wifey. Hey, James.
I'm still so mad at you.
Why are you so mad at me?
Because you just patted me in the face.
It wasn't just. It was hours ago.
Right.
I'm still thinking about it.
It's still in her hair.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's
still in
still
my hair.
salty.
It's still in crevices that I might not get out tonight. I don't know.
Like in the
Might
corner.
just sleep in it.
Corner of your nose, like you wake up and like, what is on?
Yeah.
She's like Fat Amy on the bus.
Yeah, leave it. It fuels my hate fire.
It does. As soon as I grab my hair and it's hard, I'm like,
Super crunchy.
yeah.
But it smells good.
No, it don't.
It,
like
it won't
whipped
tomorrow
cream.
morning.
If I don't.
Well, it smells like rotten milk.
Hurry
No.
up with this episode so I can go bathe.
It's gone sour. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
I love how it's all fun and games till it happens to you. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
on
I didn't
video
even see
also.
it coming.
Is it?
Jennifer got it.
Sweet.
I didn't even see
You-
it coming.
You really did.
It
I
was really
cannot
good.
believe.
It was the best surprise pie we've had so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
was good.
completely blindsided. Because I knew if I did it after your birthday, you'd be kind of expecting
She
it.
had her mouth
Yeah.
open to talk.
Well, there you go. Oh.
I had my mouth open to catch the whipped cream coming. I was like,
funny.
Give me the pie. Give me the pie.
That is
How's that? What does
hilarious.
that sound like again?
Bleh.
Okay.
She goes, oh, man, I forgot.
Dude, I'm forgetting my birthday.
That's because you're getting old.
I know.
That happens.
Oh,
Wait till
man,
you
I
have to
know.
do the math to figure out how old
Right.
you
Oh,
are.
I've been there. I've been there.
I still have my sister's 10 years younger than me, and I'm like, how old are we turning this year?
Yeah.
How old
Yeah.
are you? Because she's not to the age.
I have to
forget
ask
yet.
him, and he's like, well, do the math. And I'm like, I don't want to do the math.
That's why I asked
depressing.
you.
I want you to tell me.
Lie to me, please.
Jennifer lost a year.
I just, yeah, I remember you saying that.
She
yeah.
thought she was one age, and then we did the math, and she's like, "Oh crap, I'm a year older than I thought
no.
I was."
That's what I'm doing next year.
Right? Me
I was
too.
like, oh, I
start
totally
counting backwards.
forgot.
I tell people I'm 29.
Yeah, I stayed 29.
29.
Well, you look it. So
Thank you.
Oh, that's just so sweet. Other than the whipped cream you have just right underneath your.
it's a beauty treatment. It's,
You're right.
Like,
It's a mask.
Soaking the mask in.
It was almost like a makeup cleanser, just like wipe my whole makeup off. I was just like, oh.
I feel really bad about it.
We can tell.
Yeah.
I felt really bad when one of the youth was like, you don't even look the same. I'm kidding. I don't think they said that.
That is fantastic.
I don't think they said that. Like, what happened? Looks like you're crying.
Are you sad? Yes. Just got a pie to the dome.
Yeah, with mascara and eyeliner, just hello.
Oh, that's funny.
I got Jennifer a little aggressively. Apparently, I
Oh, my,
hit
that
her
was
too hard with the
like-
pie.
like, afterwards. We had to sit y'all down. Like, are y'all two okay? Like, is everything going fine?
Counseling after the pie.
Yes.
It
I
was
mean,
a
it
lot
was like,
lighter than I thought it was.
jeez,
Kinda
Louise.
sailed.
It hit so hard, the whipped cream missed her face and just shot past both of her ears. Like, jeez, Louise, man.
It was bad. I'm still paying for that
gosh.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just wait. Your birthday comes around again. Oh, man.
We're not having my birthday.
Yeah.
Ever.
Skip right over it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, on today's episode, we're just going to be talking about kind of.
Oh, we had a.
I think, yes, we have
title
we
for
have a
this.
subject. Yes, absolutely.
Let's do that.
It's not whipped cream. We're not sponsored by Cool Whip.
If they want to, go ahead.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just talking about, because I think we've all been in the area where we feel like we've lost our purpose, like maybe something happens or God moves us from one season to another. And kind of this, this episode, of course, is geared towards our new youth pastor, Brittany, and just kind of want to talk about a little bit of your background in ministry and just kind of where God has led you to come and join us. I mean, it's amazing just kind of how he's put us all together.
Yeah. So I have been in either children's ministry or youth ministry for the last 8 years. And it is crazy how God like shifted and moved, even though I didn't want to shift and move. Sometimes we get in positions where we're super comfortable. And when we don't move when God tells us to, he makes us move.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one thing that led me to Remnant is I was in a place where I thought my ministry was over, and when you get to that place, it was like, cause my ministry was who I was. And
Yeah.
so when my ministry stopped, I was like, well, what am I doing now?
Yeah.
And what was crazy is I didn't see God working the whole entire time behind it. And when I come to Remnant for the first time, I was like, I couldn't help. I remember the first day I walked into Remnant, and the whole service I cried, the whole entire service. And it was like a sense of peace, like I was home, and it was like after this searching for a couple months and not knowing. And I thought, okay, God, am I just done? Is this chapter of my life completely over? What am I going to do? And when I just walked in, it was just like so refreshing to realize like God wasn't done with me. Like I was counting myself out.
Right.
And so I think so many of us get in that kind of rut where we maybe not take the steps that we're supposed to take and need to take, and we get super comfortable. And then God goes, whoop, pulled the table, pulled the
Right.
handkerchief off the table. And he's like, no, you're going to start all over.
Yeah.
And it literally broke me out of that mold of what I thought my ministry was going to be into something I never dreamed it could be. And so that seeing that shift has led me to, it's like I'm starting brand new, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it gives you that fire, that excitement
Right.
all over again.
Right.
That I'm like, okay, you know, God, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's go. And I'm super excited about it. So
Almost like that, you know, that first getting saved, that
Yes.
fresh fire of just like, oh God, I'm chasing after you like never before.
Yeah.
And it's good to get that every now and then, that something where it just rekindles that fire. Like, it's not like it goes out, but you know, we get comfortable in you know, our relationship with God, and things that used to excite us in the ministry and that God is doing become just like, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. But you know, because everything in your life, no matter how good, when you get it constantly, you become complacent with it.
or like there for a while, I was getting stuck in the technicality of it. Like
Yeah.
you get so stuck in like, how many kids are we going to get?
Yeah.
You know, who needs to be picked up? Who needs to, instead of like focusing on just loving people and reaching the kids and getting in touch with you get really caught up in the what has to be done at church. And so like whenever that you get complacent in that, I guess, and you get to a point where you're going, God, am I really supposed to be doing this?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think so many times in ministry, you get to the point where you lose sight of what you're really doing. And when you're touching lives and moving lives, sometimes the hard, the scheduled stuff, the mundane stuff is what takes over after a while.
Right.
And so when I took a break for a little bit and just kind of focused and was like, God, I need some answers. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I just don't know where or what. And when I connected with Remnant, it was just like, I knew that's exactly where God had led me. I knew exactly where, because I was super excited again.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't wait to get home, and I have like a whole list in my phone of like, possible sermons that are coming, you know,
Right.
It brought the life back to the ministry again. And so I needed that, just as much as, you know, the ministry that God once needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it too, because it was like, here you go, Brett. Like, this is starting again. Let's revamp it again. Because I learned so much over the last 8 years. I've taught all ages, from little bitty to youth, and I have fell in love with so many kids. I mean, just absolutely so many kids, and been a part of so many families' lives. And I am absolutely grateful for every single person I've come in contact with. And you learn things over those years. You learn things that to having that boldness of saying, okay, you know, this is what we're going to do. This is what we want to do. And I started limiting myself on what I could do, and what I could do at church, or what I could do within the youth, or what I could do within the kids. And so whenever I had that break and I come here, like, you guys have been super supportive about, you know, go big or go home. Like, this is what, you know, you want. Let's build it and go. And it has like shot my spirit to like 1,000. Like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Like, let's do something else. You know, let's see how big that we can go, because I don't, you know, preached this morning about the ceiling. And immediately I took that to heart, because I was like, I have been keeping a cap on myself for so long. Like, I don't want a ceiling anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see how far, how big, how I want it to be radical.
Yeah.
So I can look back and go, God is the only way that this happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's crazy, you know, your thoughts and these big dreams. It's crazy until it happens.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wow, that's not so crazy. Like, now what? Let's think of something else bigger, you know, and bigger. It's like, you know, that's how our God works. We have a big God. So why don't we have big dreams and big ambitions for what we want to do? And I know you talked about, you know, kind of that transition in ministry. And I know we felt the same exact way when Revive shut the doors. I remember out in the yard when it got or not when it got announced, but when I was told the day before it got announced, and it was a done deal, like, this is it. And that's kind of how we felt, like, well, we'll never be in ministry again. Like, this is just too much. Like, you know, it's heartbreaking. And it's like, God's like, no, we're not done with you. You know, just he kind of put us in a closet and a season of growth and of being not seen. You know, it's like, okay, now you're going to go in a closet. I'm going to begin to develop you. You've been in the ministry. You've been this. Now your heart's broke. Now you're going to get in a closet, and I'm going to begin to mold you into a time where you really have to step out. Yeah. So I know we felt that way, because I know she's voiced her opinion many times. Like, no, we're not going to do this. Yeah. Like, we're not going to do this again. Like, we dragging our kids right through this, and like, it's just hurting. It's hurting us. It sours you to the ministry. Yeah. You know, to where you just don't want to do it anymore. So
it's super scary.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a little while to even, make the move with you guys and be like, I took a lot of time to pray and sit down and make sure that this is, and the question to myself whenever I really made the connection and decision was, even if I didn't do youth, is this still where I want to be at?
Yeah.
Because ministry aside, I wanted to be somewhere where I felt accepted and non-judgment, and people love each other. And I wanted that, not just for me, but for my kids too. Right. And so you can kind of be involved and have a ministry anywhere, but I wanted myself and the kids to have that structure and family. And that's exactly what Remnant offered us. And so whenever I decided that, ministry or not, that Remnant is where I wanted me and my family, then that's when I was like, you know what, let's go all out then. Let's do it.
And that's what happens when you go through the church hurt and you see yourself in that period of waiting and seeing what God wants you to do. That's what creates the culture that Pastor Mike has built at Remnant is in that period of waiting, because you see things through that hurt that you want to do different.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe we've done at Remnant, is built a different church.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And it's so cool to see people of that kind of different backgrounds, but kind of go through that same thing, be able to link together. Because I think most of us, have been through that church hurt, or that, that season of almost give up.
Yeah.
It's just like, I know me and Pastor Sean talk about this all the time. Just like, you get to where you go, you know what? I don't want to deal with ministry and everything that comes with it. I can love God from my house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with it anymore, and I just want to have my relationship with him, and that's it. But it's so much more than that. Like, when you're called, you've got to step up. You'll never be okay with not being in that. No matter what it may be something that you deem as small or something you deem as big, but it's to walk in that calling is to walk in your purpose. And if you're not walking in that purpose, you just feel there's something that you may be happy in all aspects, but there's still something on the inside of you. It's like, man, there's something that's still not getting filled. There's something I still know I'm meant to do, but I'm just not walking in that. So it's amazing to see so many people kind of come together in that and feed off of each other. And be able to come together and say, hey, we know how we want to treat people because of how we were treated, in it. Because church hurt is some of the worst, man. It's brutal and it's difficult, especially when it comes from people that you've just fed into, that you've taken your time and your energy to love on and to give everything you got, and just kind of get thrown at the wayside. Like, it's pretty brutal, and it hurts and it's hard. But I know I've heard it said before, if you don't quit, you win.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Just keep going. Just keep pushing. Just keep going. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. You're going to get your feelings hurt. You're going to fail people. People are going to fail you, but just keep going and keep pushing. That's the big thing.
I think what kept me on the road, because it would have been super easy for me to say, okay, I'm completely done. I'm done. And I think everyone, after you get church hurt, you get in that point of, I just want to go to church. I don't know how many times I said, I don't want to do anything. I just want to just go.
Yeah.
I just want to sit there and enjoy the service and go home and not have any responsibilities there. Just be a seat taker. And even though doing that, like you said, once you get called in the ministry, it's super hard not to do it.
Yeah.
There is nothing for me. There's nothing that feels like speaking for me. There's nothing in this world comparable.
Yeah.
And I chase that. When God uses you one time and it's like a feeling you've never experienced. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh God, do it again. You know, when's the next time?
Yeah.
When do I get to? And you can't let that go after you get it.
Yeah.
Once I think that's why it's so important to cultivate ministry in people. like whatever it is that you're called to do, because literally nothing else is comparable to that feeling of knowing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And even if it's just helping people, simply helping people, like we were talking about pouring into other people and God pours into you. Like once you feel that, once you find your niche in the ministry, whatever that is, if you try not to do it, you almost feel like you're lacking.
Right.
Like something is just missing. Yeah. And so like that whole of I'm just going to sit in a seat lasted 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I was on the praise team.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like,
I'm just gonna sit here.
Like, and it's just like, God will pull you. Like if you ask, like every single day, I'd always try to pray, like, God, let me be the vessel. Just use me in some way today, even if it's just to talk to somebody. Give me somebody I can talk to. And he will use you. Yeah. Like he will do it. And then the moment you try to shut down and go, God, I don't want to do this anymore, you're going to see every aspect in your life go not satisfied anymore. Yeah. Like and it's so weird how that works. And once I agreed, come to you and said, yes, let's do this. I am completely on board. It was like the floodgates of ideas open. Yeah. God was like, I was just waiting for you to say. And then it was like, oh my gosh. And I in the middle of the night, I'm waking up and going, oh, we got to talk about this. Yeah. Oh, I want to do this. It's literally the ministry is there for you. The work is there. The harvest is ready.
Yeah. Right.
It's you saying, okay, I'm going to do it. Like regardless, like, but it's for me, this time it was like, get back to the basics.
Yeah.
Just get people to God. Just get people to God. It doesn't matter if buses are running. Right. It doesn't matter if food is getting fed. It doesn't matter. Like, just get people to the altar.
Yeah.
And that's like good. once I settled on that, that's all I'm chasing. Yeah. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I think it's like you said, if you have your heart in the right place with that leading and with that, whatever the ministry may be, you have your heart in the right place. God is gonna honor that, and God is gonna use you, and He's gonna pull you into that ministry if your heart is positioned in the right spot, not for spotlight, not for notoriety, but just say, God, I want to be used. That's one thing I brag on this man for a lot, because he just has a heart of worship and a heart of service. That no matter what it is, I don't want to be seen. I don't care. I just what needs done. The little things, the hey, do you need this picked up? Hey, do you need this taken here? Hey, do you need this done? Hey, what, the hours that we spent Saturday are just up there doing stuff that nobody knows who done it. Nobody knows the hours we spent. Nobody knows what it goes into it. Nobody knows the coming home late at night and your wife's mad at you because you're late or whatever.
I was not. That wasn't me.
But no, those things go unseen many times, and many times it's hard to do that. But when your heart is positioned to that, to go, you know what, no matter what it is, let me serve.
Yeah.
God will put you on a platform. God will give you a ministry. God will put you in a position. He'll put you into rooms that you could have never made your way into. God will send you people that you would have never thought would be on board. God will send you resources you never thought possible. Why? Because your heart's positioned in the right spot, saying, God, look, I just want to serve you.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Kind of caught me off guard with that one. But I believe it is a calling to serve.
Yeah.
Because it is hard, to do stuff when people don't see you.
Yeah.
It was a long day yesterday.
Yeah.
But just to hear people say, man, that looks awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People talking about coming back to the church that were new today. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Right.
Like you said, getting people to the altar, getting people in the building to experience God for maybe the first time. That is what it's all about.
Yep. And Robbie's the same, somebody that just shows up and does these things that don't get seen. That is what builds a ministry. Like, it can't be said enough. That is what builds a ministry. Just those little things that people overlook, or I'm too good for that, or that's not my calling, or whatever. I always talk about the story when I was about 17 and we were wanting to work in the youth, and then we were asked, hey, do you think you can help with the kids? And me, because I know everything at 17, no, that's not my calling. What? I can't believe you'd ask me to do that. My calling is youth. I want to help with the youth. And it took me years to realize, like, oh, I goofed that one up, because it wasn't about what my calling was. It was about what was needed. It was about going outside of what I felt called to do, or what I was blessed to do, or what I was good at, and to say, what can I do to help the church? And I missed it. I missed it on that. And I wonder how many times we miss something so amazing because we're not willing to say, God, whatever you need for me, whatever you need for me.
I do have a question that I want to throw out there.
I want to throw out.
Just throw it out there. Y'all can't see me, but I'm making a throwing motion.
Well, is that like a curveball? Like, what is that?
So, yeah, we're not on video, but
Yet.
I just want to know what y'all think, because y'all been in youth ministry longer than me. What is the biggest problem facing our youth today, and how do we get them to church?
That's good.
I expected an
That's
answer.
good. That is good right there.
Oh, when you
That
know, tell me.
That is good. That's a good question. That is a good. No, I think, especially with youth nowadays, with information at their fingertips, I think youth see straight through the bull, the fake.
Right.
The getting up and acting like you've got it together, and acting like you're better than everybody, and acting like you just know all the answers, and acting like they see right through it. They cannot relate to it. So what happens is you get up there on a stage and you try to give them something, and they're automatically shut off. You're fake. I don't want to hear it, because two things happen. Either the youth leader, whoever's speaking to these youth, they come at them from a old church mindset, and these kids are going, I don't know anything you're talking about. It's going over my head. I'm zoned out. Or you're trying so hard to be relevant that you look like an idiot. Because they see right through it. You're up there, oh, yo, what's up, everybody? Are y'all excited? Let's go.
I wish we had a video for that.
It's like, dude, you're 56 years old. Like, chill out, And so...
That only works for Mike Simmons.
Well, because that's just who I am. Like, you around me for 5 seconds, you realize I'm a 7-year-old. I grew a year.
Amen.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, whatever. So I think that they're looking for something real. And a lot of churches are trying to sugarcoat it and they're trying to throw pizza and dodgeball at them, and not something real and tangible.
Not good.
You'll get kids that they'll go to youth group, but they're not getting anything out of it because it's pizza and dodgeball, and they won't stick around for that.
Right.
No.
They'll do that for a couple weeks. That'll get old, and they move on. They want something real. That's my...
Sean gave me he wasn't meaning to give me a compliment, but he did anyway. But
Sean and his compliments.
This is quite a while back, but he told me that's the connection that I have with the kids, is that I'm a dad. That's
Right.
That's who I am, and that I don't try to be Mike Simmons.
Oh gosh.
Thank the good
Lord
Lord. I
help
don't
you.
try to do that. There's only one of those, and that's the way God intended.
Right.
But that was really cool to hear that, because it's not fake.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, this is who I am. If you don't like me, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But he said that you see the way I act, and you wouldn't think that the youth would accept me, but they do.
They do.
And a couple of youth have talked to me, and it's so cool to be a counselor to these younger kids, because everybody said, well, teenagers don't listen. Yeah, they listen.
Yeah.
They just don't listen to everybody.
Right.
Right.
There's certain people that can connect. It's the same thing with adults. Some people connect with other people for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our parents cannot understand why me and Mike are friends.
That's what they say that all the time. Like, I can't believe y'all are friends.
We are polar opposites.
Yeah.
But there it is. It
Yeah.
works. And that's how it works with kids. They connect with who they connect with.
Yeah. Well, and that's a prime example of just go in and be real.
Right.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, like if you go in and you're real and you show them that you love them and you show them you're there and they feel safe with you, they will open up to you, whether they like relate to you, like the way you act or the way you dress. They'll relate to you more on that than anything.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of mine is I'm goofy and I'm more like a teenager. So I think that they relate to me on that level. But as long as you're being real, like they're going to connect with you. It may take a while, you know, but eventually those walls will begin to come down and they'll really connect with you.
I think
Yeah.
that's one thing that's so cool about our church too, is we have so much diversity in our church
Oh my God.
that
Yeah.
anybody can find anybody to connect
Right.
with
Yeah.
in our church. And like, so we have so many adults that come on for Remnant Rising also,
Yeah.
that there's literally a outlet for everyone. Like
Right.
every youth, because we do have a real diverse youth too, and a lot of different ages,
Yeah.
that they have someone that's available at all times. That
Right.
whoever they want to talk to, whether it's you, I noticed a couple of girls that always gravitate towards
Yeah.
you, and then you can kind of tell that the youth, and they see that we're invested in them.
Yeah.
And that's super important, that adults don't just come for Sunday morning, like they come
Right.
for their stuff too,
Yeah.
and they see that. And I think that
Yep.
shows them how much that we care about them too.
And that's what I was about to say is that even though I'm not on stage, speaking most of youth or ever, y'all don't see the messages that I get on Facebook or Messenger or texting. And it's really, really about investing in them. Like, hey, how's your day?
Yeah.
Just like you would your best friend. Hey, how's it going?
Right.
How's your home life? Is everything okay? I'm here if you want to talk. Like, that's some of the most powerful, relationship conversations. Like, it might not always be comfortable,
Yeah.
but we're making a relationship with the kids,
Yeah.
and they see, if you're just like, hey, I'm up here to give a word, good night, see
Right.
y'all next Sunday.
Right.
yeah.
What's the point?
And that's where a lot of speakers or leaders, like that's where I love evangelists. Any evangelists, I love you. I do. But can we please, especially with youth, don't come to a church 5 minutes before you speak, come in, go to a back room, come out and speak, and then dip right afterwards.
Yeah.
Right.
It is so frustrating. You don't care about these youth. You come, you speak, you get your name out there, you collect a check, and you dip. Like, it drives me insane. And they see that and they see right through that. They don't care about me. Why am I going to listen to them? They haven't spent 5 seconds with me beforehand. Like, it drives me insane. Walk out there and shake a few hands. Ask some kids how they're doing. Hey, what grade are you in? Hey, where are you from? Hey, what's going on? Like, at least invest in them a little bit. It drives me insane.
And what's crazy for church kids, like evangelists that come in, that's like celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, a lot of callings will come out of like, because you think someone else is like
Right.
super cool.
Yeah.
And then you dip out and act like you don't care about the kids at all.
Yep.
Yep.
That puts such a bad taste in the mouth, especially even about ministry. And then you're expected to come back the next night and have
Yeah.
the same reception
Yes.
that
Right.
you did the first.
Yes.
You can see that fall off.
Yeah.
You really can.
Like
Yeah.
we always tell the kids, like, hey, come over, or y'all know where we live. Like, you're always welcome. You
Yeah.
know, if you need to come over, talk, here's my number. It's just making that one-on-one connection. And that's what I always feel like I'm a part of. Like, he's on stage giving the word and, acting out, but y'all don't always see I'm connecting with them or
Yeah.
messaging them or like, how's your day? Or that's always been somewhat of, me dealing with youth, is that one-on-one connection or that sit down talk. Like, okay, tell me what's on your heart.
And it's super important. And that's why we have the same
Yeah.
ones coming back constantly.
Yeah.
Is because they feel like they have ownership and a
Yeah.
part and people that care about them.
And that's what I love about just kind of starting this church, is that I always want to put it out there that, you have the freedom to do whatever. You have if you want to lay on your face in the middle of service
Yes.
and cry out, do it. Like, we are not here to stop you. Like, if, God is moving, let's keep on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's where people are going to get that real presence of God, the
Yeah.
real, like heart change posture.
Yeah. And that's why I think, you have these big events, whatever they may be, or youth rally or Fields of Faith or whatever it is, and you have 500 kids show up. And then youth group, you've got 11. Why? They know all the churches show up, all the leaders show up for these big events, and it's cool and awesome, and let's go be a part of it. But they don't want to invest in them in a day to day. So why would the kids be invested if the leaders aren't invested? So they'll go to these big events because we got food and it's exciting and there's music and there's games, it's awesome and everybody's there and it's great. But then they don't go to youth group because why would I invest? They don't care about me. Right. They care about the numbers. They'll be able to put it on Facebook and say, look at how many kids were here. That's all they care about.
Right.
You know, so it's in order to get the kids in, they've got to feel that connection. A lot of these kids are lost and don't have somebody that loves them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Jamie, you could be the only one making that unbiased connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because whenever I can remember back to having some really hard conversation with youth and even smaller kids and going, have you not told anyone else this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are like the heartbreaking conversations where you're going, if you wouldn't have told me, then
Right.
would you have not told anyone?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking to think that just like we need our like circle of people, the people that we trust that's outside of our family. Cause sometimes you need that unbiased, like, hey, this is what's going on.
Right.
Our youth needs that too. Big time. Like they're facing huge decisions. Yeah. And I can remember when I was in youth, like sometimes we want to think like kids' problems aren't problems. Mm-hmm. No, when I was a kid, my problems were massive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they were as big as my adult problems.
Exactly.
You know, because that's their capacity. That's their life right there. And I think the first problem when it comes to, I've seen in other youth groups is they start downgrading youth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or the kids are acting like their problems aren't that big or it's not that important.
Yeah.
Like that is their life.
Yeah.
It is super important.
Yeah.
And it is our job to acknowledge that and see that and respect that and say, I see you. I see you exactly as you are.
Yep.
So
And that's what I love about her talking. Sorry. That's what I love about her, you know, talking about the more behind the scenes and the more one-on-one, because we play off each other like that. I don't have the capacity to be able to do that. You know, I'm so focused on giving the word or so focused on making sure all this, you know, runs that she takes up that catches the things that are falling through the cracks. You know, I may not be able to sit and have a 10-minute conversation with somebody who really needs to have it. Yeah. And she comes behind and, hey, you know, picks up that slack and is able to message them and make sure that their needs are taken care of. It's a team effort. And people, I hate it. They look at the big and that ministry is a smaller one. No. They all work together. Like it's one big machine that needs each other to be able to work. What are you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say that, you know, I've went to the altar with certain kids and they're crying on the altar and they'll say, well, I want Jamie.
Why? I just yelled at him like 10 minutes ago.
But no, a lot of people will let that discourage them from going to the next youth.
Yeah.
Well, they'll probably want Jamie too. Well, probably, but you need to go ask. But those connections have to happen, and if you're not connecting with one, you'll connect with another. But you can't let that discourage you from putting yourself out there,
right?
Because kids can hurt just like we can. You know, they can hurt us the same way we can hurt them.
Yeah.
Right.
So we just got to put ourselves out there at all times.
Yeah. Because they'll have those walls up. You know, for a lot of these kids are so untrusting, and it takes so long to get that wall broke down. Mm-hmm. So they'll have their walls up with one person, but not with another, because this person is invested in them, so they trust them. Because, like you said, a lot of these kids are going through some really, really big stuff.
Yeah.
Like we've talked to kids, it's just like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
I know one night, you know, we had my kids just write down things that they're struggling with, and we're like, we're going to be the only ones to read them. Nobody else outside of us two are going to read it. And it was just devastating to see some of these things that these kids were dealing with. And they get overlooked and they get forgotten about. And it's so sad. And they've got their wall, and they don't want to tell anybody. They don't trust anybody.
Right.
Because usually it's the people that they're supposed to trust that are doing these things to them.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Adriana in the last episode, and you know, when she first came to us, she wasn't having it. Like she's 15 when we got her. She was like, no, not I love you, none of that. And then we finally, just in the last 6 months, got it through to her. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So now it's, you know, I love you. calling us mom and dad. You
Yeah.
know, it's just an amazing transformation. But that doesn't happen overnight.
Right,
You know,
right.
you've got to build that. You've got to keep working at it. You got to climb those walls.
Yeah. And some you just don't get through. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just not
Yeah.
your person.
Right.
Oh man, I've sat with some girls and just been like, tell me what you're going through. Like, I'm here. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to shame you. Just like, tell me like what's going on. Do you want to talk? Do you want to go somewhere? Like, do you want to have someone else sit in? And it's just like, nope, and nope,
Yeah.
nope.
And what's like super important is to not take that stuff personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, because I know, like I've been there before where it's like, like trying, and they're just like not breaking through. And of course, like you're praying for them constantly too, but so many times we want to try to like step in and be like, just talk to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you start feeling, well, it's me.
Yeah.
And so like as anyone in the ministry, like if we don't understand like what anyone has went through. Like we are all friends, but I don't know your whole story.
Yeah.
I don't know all of this. So like not to take these things personal and continue reaching out, because that's why these people, like everybody, you stop people and finally they give up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what people are used to, but like that's not the love of God.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like not taking it personal and going, God, I'm just going to keep trying.
Yeah.
God, I'm just going to keep moving. And that kind of pushes you forward.
I always think that if I'm not getting to them, or maybe someone, in our group of area or something isn't getting to them, then maybe there's someone in the future or someone that they're going to come into connection with that'll, pray over them or just encourage them or love on them. And that might change their heart because, it might not just be us. That might not be in God's will.
Yeah.
It's, for our words or our ministry or, what we have to offer. That might not be for them. And, and that's fine.
And it can be as simple as you're testifying about something that you've been through or you deal with, and they connect with that.
Right.
Yeah.
They come to you like, hey, I deal with that too. Can we talk?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's power in the testimony.
Right.
So we always need to share what we go through, even if it's hard.
Well, it could be a seed for someone else to cultivate. Just a seed. And it's like, I didn't break through. It's like, no, but you planted the seed. Somebody else is going to come along to water it and to get to see it grow. We'll never see that, but we started that process. We may not have broke through, but we cracked it.
There's been nights where I like wake up in the middle of the night over someone that had said something to me 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it finally resonates,
Yeah.
So you never know like what's waking someone up at 3 a.m.
Yep.
So it's just always just planting that.
And I can't,
I agree.
and I can't wait to see my aunt in heaven
Yeah.
to tell her that she was, because I didn't get to tell her when she was alive. 'Cause
Right.
her death was what caused me to get saved. So I can't wait to show her, hey, look what you did.
Yeah.
You
That's
changed.
super cool.
my-
Yeah.
Like your faith and you're standing
Right.
strong in those
Right.
moments. That's so awesome. Yeah. Cause again, she never got to know that.
Right.
Right.
So
And that's what it's about. Like that is what, ministry is about.
Amen.
It's just planting that seed and, telling them the good news,
yep.
sharing our
And
testimonies.
just like that though, like it was the way that she lived her life.
Yeah.
And how
Actually,
she
the
lived-
way she ended her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a preaching to you.
Right.
It wasn't a come to Jesus meeting.
Right.
It was you
Right.
saw that through her.
Right.
And I think that like speaks volumes.
Right.
Yep.
It was pretty powerful because she was dying of cancer and she just knew where she was going and didn't care. She was just ready. And it was just like, man, that's what I want. And
Yep.
started seeking after it. And here I
Here
am.
you are.
Look at you.
The rest, as they say, is history.
You're a history teacher.
Here you
That's
are,
right.
Yeah.
BFFs with Michael Simmons.
Maybe I could change. No. Change one thing. Maybe. No. I would never.
Can I go back to your question that you asked earlier?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
The question was like, what's keeping
Right.
youth out? And for me, it's not just youth, it's adults too. We are so stuck in a society of shame. Like
good.
you
Yeah.
are ashamed of, you're either completely all in or you are completely all out.
Yeah.
And like getting the message across that each one of us screw up every single day. Like, it's totally okay. Like, we are never going to be perfect.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We are never, like, we are all walking in with the same mess. Like, it's the point of either you keep doing and you keep trying, you keep progress, or you stop.
Right.
You know? And so, like, I think youth is stuck in such a mindset that they either have to be all perfect or they're just not going to go at all.
Right.
Because then
That's
it's
good.
like, because you have friends and like, say you're going out on the weekend, but then you're coming to youth on Sunday, and it's a struggle. Like, it's
Yeah.
a struggle
Right.
for all of us. And so still continuing, like, it's okay to go to church through your mess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
good.
hard for us, even
Yeah.
as like adults, like adult people. Well, I'm really struggling in my life, so I don't even want to walk through the doors
Yeah.
of church.
Oh yeah.
No, like,
Right.
why? Like,
Yeah.
stop, because it's an everyday. Like, I look at my life, I get saved every morning. Like,
Right.
do you know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, God forgive me, every morning I'm
Yeah.
like, let's start a fresh, let's
Right.
do a fresh
Like,
plate
crap.
today.
Okay. Yesterday. Yeah. I failed again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, if we could break past that whole stigma of I'm just broken and useless, like,
Yeah.
I can't fix this, like, or the whole idea that you have to fix yourself before you go to church.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that
What
all
are
the time.
we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Because that's impossible.
Right.
Like, you are literally, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
You're never going to make it like that. So name me one person that goes to any church that is perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, I believe, is the foundation of Remnant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is come as you are. You know, all churches say it, not all churches mean it. We
Right.
want you messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come see us. Let God clean them up, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And I love it that Mike, at any opportunity he gets, he'll say that. Doesn't matter if you were drunk last night and stumbled in here.
Yes.
Please come in here.
Right.
This is where you belong. And that's the message that we have to get out there.
Right. I've even had people say, you know, I don't want to come in because I'll just cry. And like, what's the point in going into a church service and crying?
Right.
I know I'm going to feel shame and guilt. And then what?
Right.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's God pulling on your heart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, that is like, you need to get that out. Like,
It's supposed to be like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, if God didn't correct us or be like,
Right.
oh, that's right. How would you know?
Right.
Like, everyone wants the idea of like, there's like this set of rules.
Yeah.
Like, when you become a Christian, like, oh, you're going to follow these. It's not like that.
Oh, and that's
It is-
old religion.
It is
Yeah.
not like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. I learn every day, like,
Yeah.
something different every day. And God will bring something to the surface to me that'll be like, Britt, you need to work on this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that don't mean I stop going to church.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that I stop coming to youth.
And-
I'm going, okay, I'm going to work on it.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
I'm going to screw up and go, God, help me work on this again. And then I'm going to screw up and then I'm going to go, God, help me work on this again.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this never ending story.
And it's not, you'll never get there
No.
until you see, you know, God when you get to heaven.
Yeah.
You will never be there.
One thing God's going to be like, girl, you tried.
That's what
Right. Right.
I always
Give it
say.
effort.
He's going to see me and be like, man, you are stubborn.
That's funny. Yeah.
Sorry. I know. Sorry.
Well, I got to talk to a good buddy, and I asked him, you know, hey man, like, you know, when's the last time you prayed? And he's like, I just don't believe, you know, just straight up, just like, I just don't believe. You know, I'm like, well, why don't you go to church? He's like, because I don't believe. I'm like, okay, why don't you go? When did doubt disqualify you from
Yeah.
from coming and going? You know what? I don't even believe this, but I need to connect with a good group. I'm gonna go check it out.
Right.
You know,
or,
it's
or
like
try to make an educated decision about it.
right. At least, yeah. And you can't do that if you don't even give it a shot.
Yeah.
And that's what has happened is the church has pushed people away to not even give it a shot, to not even say, let me go see what this is about.
Right.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna step in there because I'm gonna be judged as soon as I go in there. And it's frustrating, man. It's hard to break those barriers down that people have had
And I
for
think,
so long.
I think some churches just get into the idea of, all right, well, we need to come in and do this, and this has to be done. And, you know, yes, that needs to happen with the church, but it's almost like you're so focused on what needs to happen and what needs to go on is that they miss the whole point.
Yeah.
What about just sitting at the altar or crying out or, you know,
Well, we
Like-
didn't schedule time in for that.
Right.
Yeah, right. Or I'm looking at the clock. Oh, it's 12. Gotta go. You know,
Right.
gotta get. No, like if the Holy Spirit's moving, then I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Like it was like what you said tonight. Like when you said pray, praise, and you were telling them all that. And then it was like the why for you. It was like, okay, you need to stop and listen.
Yeah.
And it was like sitting at the altar, and it was just like silence, like not praying, not
Yeah.
asking for anything, not, praying over anyone. Cause that's almost like as pastors, what we do, what we
Yeah.
need to do.
Yeah.
But it was like me, I'm sitting there, and it's just been so crazy from the jump, from opening Remnant.
Yeah.
It's just been go, 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 go,
Right.
go. And tonight I just sat there and I was just like, I just want to listen to you. I just want to sit here and bask in your
Yes.
presence.
That's good. I just got a thought. So what happens when your prayers and your praise outweighs your answers? So you're so busy praising and praying, and he's trying to talk, and I'm giving you your answer. You're just not quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're being too loud, thinking you've got to do something to get the answer when I'm giving you the answer. I've already given it to you. If you just shut up,
Yeah.
be quiet.
We want to talk God to death.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I've got to do it. I've got to pray. If I could just pray enough, if I could pray the right words, then I'll get my answer.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not getting it, because I'm not doing enough. And he's like, I'm trying to tell you, but you're too loud.
And it comes back to discipleship. How do we pray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be taught
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to pray.
Yeah.
Because it is, if you look at it like a conversation, you cannot have a conversation if you're the only one talking.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Can't happen.
Yeah. Because, you look at all of us in church when we were as a kid, what did we do? We memorized
Yeah.
scriptures.
yeah.
We weren't told what they mean, as long as you got it memorized. John 3:16. Okay, cool. I've got it memorized. Don't know what it means. Don't know how to
Right.
apply it. Don't know anything about it. But at least I got it memorized.
It's
and
like sometimes we get so stuck in like telling God what we want him to hear
yeah,
rather than like wanting to hear from him.
That's good.
Because there's so many times like we pray for things and go, okay, God, here it is.
Yep.
And then we're
Right.
done with it.
Yep.
And that's why tonight, like we talked about intentional prayer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
like remembering like what you really prayed for. Like not in the emotional sense, but in what you're really praying for. And then because so many times we pray for things and then when they're answered, we don't even care.
right.
Or you don't even realize, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why I was like, write down this date, pray,
Yeah.
write it down. And then being like, so when you write things down for me, it means I'm intentional. Like I'm doing it on purpose and I can visualize that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And so then it's going to be in the back of your mind. So then when like so-and-so, you're asking for help for so-and-so or whatever. I had a friend that she was very sick and I prayed about it. And I actually, like, I would just kind of skim over it. And about 2 years later, it was like all of a sudden I realized she wasn't sick anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
when did she not get sick? It was like I overlooked the amazing
Right.
healing.
Right.
Yeah.
I prayed for it, but then I didn't care if she was healed.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
that was what's triggered my journey because I was like, God, I am taking this for so much granted.
Yeah,
Like
that's
he's
good.
he's answering things, but I'm not stopping to listen.
Yeah.
I am not stopping to like acknowledge that he's actually doing these things.
That's good.
You know, so like it's intentionally when you're asking for something and not just like blurting it out. And then to stop and yield. And I'm not a big fan of the word meditate, but like that's like that silence within yourself to like sit. So during praise and worship, I will usually, when I'm not up singing, I will usually go and just sit down at the altar.
Yeah.
Like I'm usually not praying or anything, but it's just like that kind of like you said, like that solace, like that peace that just kind of walks over you that I'm going, God, I don't want nothing from you. Like there's something
Right.
so beautiful in
Yeah.
saying, God, I don't want nothing right
Yeah.
now. I just want to sit and hang out with you. Can you
Yep.
imagine being in a relationship and someone going, I need you to do this.
Just
and I
all
need
the
you to do
time.
this, God. And I need you to do this. And I need you to
Right.
fix this for me.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and I messed up, so throw that in there too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, sorry, I screwed up, but I'm going to need this
Right.
from you.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of relationship are you
Exactly.
building? And so, like, how nice is it for your significant other to go, baby, I don't want nothing. Just sit down and
Just
spend
wanna
some
hang out
time
with
with
you.
me.
Right.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, at what point did we lose that? Like, it becomes like this request box
Yeah.
instead
Oh,
of a
yeah.
relationship.
And that's another
That's
thing.
a good sermon.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get so caught up in ministry, especially when you're a leader. Like, because I mean, there's a plethora of things to be done.
Yes.
In Michael Simmons
Yes, there
notes.
is.
I gotta get up there at 3 a.m. There's a lot to do. What is there to do?
It was 3:30 this morning. It was even earlier this morning. Yeah.
But
You have problems.
and there's we stepped into that. We took that at risk, and we know that's what's coming. But it's like time and go, and I got to do this, and I got to get this, and this needs to be done. But it's like, when do you sit in His presence? When do you get to enjoy His presence and all that He's blessed you with?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, you gave me this beautiful church, and all these great friends and great leaders to help me. It's like, when is the silence? When is God's gonna speak?
That's like Jennifer said, she got to come and sit out there. And it was like a whole new perspective, it's like a whole new thing. She's not do. Now she gets to sit there and receive and oh man, I get to be a part of it.
And that is something that gets lost during service. Like when you're in that service, like this weekend, we were there all day Saturday, all day today, which was great. There was a reason that we did that, but you get lost in that, and you sometimes you forget why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And to see lives change and hearts turn to God. Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, got it.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
Yep.
But you do have to make time to feed yourself. I mean,
oh yeah.
And that's what they say. Like, if you're a leader in ministry, your job is to feed yourself outside of service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make sure you're fed, make sure you get what you need outside of it. That way, when you come in, you can pour into others. Like, that's what your job is, you know? So that's why, you're consuming podcasts, you're watching YouTube videos, you're reading the word, you're praying, you're listening to praise and worship music. So you're feeding yourself during the week, but it still gets hard.
It does.
Because you come and you look at service as a job, and it's easy to lose that passion for it because you're doing it. It's just like, oh, let's do it again. Okay. So it really is. It's a fine line and a very important thing to make sure that you put everything into perspective. Like, we're doing this for a reason, for a purpose. Yeah. We're not just doing it to do it. Right. We're doing it for a purpose. And that's kind of where I got to this morning. It wasn't a lot to do. It was just walking around and taking a second to just go, wow.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this is happening. I cannot believe this is happening. So I just walked around. I put praise and worship music on, and for 2 hours I walked around the church, just looking at the paint on the wall, just going, wow. Looking at the extra wall that we put up to divide the kids' room, going, wow, this is amazing. This is crazy. We overlook this every Sunday because it's chaos. And come on, we got to do this. We got to do this. It's just like, holy cow! I cannot. But I mean, just what it took to put the stage up.
Yeah.
And how that got done and how everything just kind of came together. It's just like, God, I've overlooked all of this.
And I know we're in the middle of it, but so I've been at Remnant a few months now. And do y'all realize how much it's changed?
Yeah.
Just since I didn't get to see the beginnings of you guys.
Yeah.
But just since I've been there, you don't realize every second, but as I looked back over, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Think between the people and the look of the church, it's just getting, and God's moving so fast.
Yeah.
It's like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And until when you're in it, like you said, you don't realize.
Right.
But then when I stepped back today and I was like, we were talking about earlier, I was like, man, do you realize even over the last month, it has just been different.
Yeah.
Changes.
Yeah.
And I love everyone that's coming to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Like the Wilkersons, Little D, just them. I mean, I know they're not there on Sunday mornings, but just their help.
Yeah.
With Tyler helping and Little D taking time out to come and just play.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing.
It really is.
I make fun of Mike all the time for us changing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But you have to keep it you have to keep it fresh, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because that's part of it.
Yeah.
You have to keep people interested.
Right.
So sorry, I make fun of you about that. There's a purpose for that too.
It's almost awesome when it comes back. He's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
get
definitely
it.
no one gets to claim a seat in our church.
I know. You never. Yeah. You
You're
never
never going to
know.
sit the same place.
Right.
Man.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that's one thing. You know, you really see people's hearts. Where I know Stacia, you know, had to move seats, and she's like, "I'm fine. I'll sit over here. I don't care. Like, it's all good." Like I love that because that's one thing that churchy people.
Yeah.
This is my seat. This is my section. This is where I sit. It's,
I used to hate that if you walked into a new church and you were there early and you were like, "Oh, can I sit here?"
Right.
Am I going to get beat up?
All right. You get mean mugged the entire service.
Just come to Remnant. We never know where we're sitting.
Right. Musical chairs.
Oh,
I keep waiting for no chairs, just to walk in there and everybody just stand the whole service.
I feel like we're gonna stand in this service. I had
Be like I'm out.
gotta really have to speak on that one, like, man. Yeah, I've had somebody tell me in a conversation that she personally knows someone who has left a church because she accidentally sat in their seat.
Oh my goodness.
Left. Got so offended, and she had no idea. I think she did have an idea, but she was like about to help with something.
Yeah.
So she was just sitting, waiting to go up and help do something. And I guess this lady was like in the bathroom or something, like came back and like got mad, like chewed her out and left. Never came back.
So I come from a
that's
background where like the pews are claimed by blankets.
Oh, yeah, just put it up with that.
Right,
That's so
right.
funny.
So if there's a blanket, you don't sit there.
And
That is
there's-
so
oh
funny.
my gosh, that's old school.
It is very old school.
Man.
Yes.
And just pews. I can't remember the last time I sat in like we were at the oh gosh, the place where Sean preached.
Yeah.
They had pews. It was like,
I
oh,
love
man.
it. I love.
You ain't lying. She was like in her element. She was like,
Ooh, I love the hymns.
she took out the hymns. It ain't hymn time. Like we ain't even started
page
yet. Like,
53.
Smell different.
Yes.
don't
like
they?
they're doing announcements. You got the hymn out. Like dang,
Page
like, calm
53.
down.
What is it?
Yo, they scared me. Like because
I'll
it's
Fly
where
Away.
they don't have like a set songs. They just shout out a number.
Oh.
So we got done with the first one. It's like 57. I'm like, oh,
Bingo.
Jesus. Oh, I thought I was gone.
Called my number.
I went to a church one time that the song leader gave the wrong page number, so
It's on the, like,
I don't know.
We were very what they say we were very oh my gosh, what is the word? Like the younger generation,
like
like
millennial.
ministry.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know.
Contemporary.
Contemporary.
Contemporary,
Yeah.
oh, is that- yeah.
Yeah. They called us
When
that.
we were talking outside.
I had like holes in my jeans all down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
You're
yeah.
wow.
It was like
Crazy.
hot,
Look
so
out
I
now.
had like a short sleeve shirt. I'm like, oh,
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget. Like, because we were standing by the door, we're like, you know, we didn't know if they had like Sunday school or anything like that. So we're standing by the door and we're like talking.
and I'm like saying, I gotta go to the bathroom so bad.
Yeah.
We just drove like an hour here.
Yeah.
I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm sure they can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's like
well, we
not a foyer.
Well, we opened. No, we opened the door and we're like in.
service.
Oh, in
Class,
the service.
like-
Okay.
They're like, come on. We just heard you gotta go to the bathroom.
Right. Like, oh man.
Oh, and you got to get up in the middle, like while they were. I was like, I gotta use the bathroom. They're like, oh, it's right up there by the stage.
Yeah.
That door
So
you had to
goes
walk
right-
by
Yes.
the past.
Yes, like right, yeah, and around the
That's
corner. It's like,
strategic.
oh,
Yeah, I was
man.
like-
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
they were
That
super
was cool.
sweet.
Yeah, they were really, they really were. And we were trying to like get Sean pumped because it was kind of quiet, you know. So we're trying to pump him up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's funny because he really does take that feedback. Like you can tell he just like struggling. He's just like, so I'm like, yeah, hey, that's good right there. He's like, I ain't even saying nothing. Like, oh man, I'm gonna write that down. Jesus died for us. Woo! Never heard that one before. Lord,
Overdramatic.
yes, Sean, yes.
I'm trying to sneak a hymn in my purse.
I have a book at home.
We need these for the church. I'm like,
Like,
oh
I'm
man.
kidding. Lord, forgive me. I'm just
hymnals.
joking.
Nothing wrong with hymnals now. Hold on, like we love the hymnals.
Let me
It's
tell
not-
you,
We're
like,
contemporary.
but like if I'm at home, because I was raised on that too. If I'm at home, like that'll be what comes in my mind. If I'm
Yeah.
cleaning my house,
Oh yeah.
it'll be like an old hymn. Like
Yeah.
some of them hit deep. And when you're younger, I was like, no, this is silly. You know, when
Yeah.
you're younger. But then as I get older, I'm like, oh, that kind of hits.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's bopping.
Yeah.
That's a bop.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. I do.
Yeah.
I do. I get it.
For me-
I just love it because the nostalgia.
That's
Yes,
what I was about
it
to
gives
say.
me that sentimental.
Yeah.
I can smell peppermint candy.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, some old wise grandma that
Yeah.
sat
And-
for years.
Yes, and just the amount of dedication that comes from those from that era.
Yeah.
Just the love of the doors are open and we are there.
Yeah.
Like I miss that dedication. I miss that love for being there. I miss the dinners, hey, we're having dinner after Sunday service.
Man,
like
they
I
could
miss
cook,
that
yeah.
so much. That's why I love my nan. I love picking her brain. What?
Food, are you hungry?
They can cook too. They're like, let's have a potluck. It's a Wednesday night. Okay.
It didn't matter. If you were at church, you was eating.
Right.
Right.
But it was like, for real, like, if you didn't go anywhere, you went to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, somewhere we lost that.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I don't know, maybe COVID-wise or whatever.
Yeah, I think COVID made us comfortable with with just watching it online or or
that was
or
probably
doing that.
before COVID.
That's what I was telling them this morning. The statistics say only 30% of church goers went back to church after COVID,
Ouch.
and that's only considering twice a month. That's not even full time, so numbers are even less than
Yeah.
that. So I mean,
I can't relate to any of the childhood
Sorry,
church
Sorry,
memories
Richard.
because 38 when I went to church. So
That's awesome.
he's like, yeah, that sounds great. Oh, I remember.
I like peppermint candy.
I'll introduce you to my Nana.
Man, oh my Papa Charlie boy, that's what he do. You hear him shuffling around in Grandma's purse.
Yeah.
Or to be like that half piece of gum.
Yeah.
That's Bunny. My wife
And he-
is the
oh, my
peppermint
goodness,
girl.
you ain't
Well,
lying.
She's going to be the peppermint lady when
I'm
she gets
so
older.
sorry. I always steal them from
You
her.
do. She just hands them to you now. She
Yeah.
doesn't even try to hide
But
them.
now she's got like the peppermint. She don't have the lifesaver.
That's
yes,
Yeah,
those
she's got
lifesaver
the
mints.
soft
Yep.
chewer.
I like those, but the peppermints are
You probably switched because you were stealing them.
That's exactly what happened. Well, now she's giving those to me because she's keeping me away from the good one. Like, here you go. I brought these for you.
Don't go
Love you,
digging.
babe.
They're not
Love
in
you.
there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love your peppermints.
Man. Yeah. What else do y'all have on your heart? Anything? That's been good.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for tuning into this episode.
Tuning in? Do we still tune it in? Like, is that, I get, we're not on a radio
Are you
station.
finished?
Sorry.
Are you done?
Are you wrapping it
Are
up?
you,
Sorry.
are you finished?
He's got
I'm
more
sorry,
on his
go ahead.
heart.
That was
Calm down, Harry Potter. It's your glasses. Check us out on remnantmalden.com. You can find out all about us. Services are 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Sunday. Come see us.